Christian here with I'm Chasing Wild, and on this adventure, I'm retracing the steps of gold miners from the 1800s. I'll be exploring caves, camping on ridgelines, and searching for forgotten mining equipment. Welcome to the Inyos Mountains. 10:30, leaving the truck. Just hope to get there before dark. Little bird's nest nestled right down here in the cliff of this wash. As I'm walking along this creek bed, it's hard not to look at this and just see all these layers and not want to look for gold. Just all these different sediment bands. I can see why people would be drawn to this with the idea of maybe pulling out a big gold nugget and striking it rich. Just looking up at what's to come. Really doesn't look like there's a path, but we're gonna find one. The miners did, the mules did, and so can we. Another sign of life. There's a bit of coyote poop covered in hair, which means there must be some rabbits up here. It's just incredible to think that coyotes are running around these mountains, let alone rabbits, and full cycle of life is going on up here. This is what we're traversing. You can kind of faintly see some switchbacks, so hopefully those are in decent condition, but based off what I've seen so far, I highly doubt it. That's incredible. First remnants of a miner, and we still have a long way to go. I got a little blister that's forming. This one gives me problems just about every strenuous hike I do, so I brought some moleskin. I'm gonna throw some on before it gets too bad, and then have a little snack break. I think I'm about 4 miles in, getting into a pretty steep little canyon here. The sun is not far from the horizon, and well, I have a long way to go. So I'm expecting a nice long hike in the dark tonight, which will be interesting because this trail, while it's easier than I thought it would be to follow, you can see there's no real path. Well, I just took a break and I'm cresting this little peak. It's about to get really, really gnarly. But I found our first artifacts, which is an old pickaxe. Wow, that's cool. Just sitting right here on this rock. And a hatchet. These things have been worn down. Look at just how beat down it is. That wood is so old. Wow, that's so cool. Some old cans. And it looks like this might have been an old dwelling that's collapsed. And there's some iron right there. It looks like maybe something for a rail cart. I had no clue I was going to come up on something along this this hike up, but it makes perfect sense. They're using this trail. There's going to be some stuff in here. Sweet, let's keep going. We got about an hour of sunlight left. Well, I've got good news, and that is I can see the top, and it actually looks like an achievable distance. Bad news is we're starting to get into some of the north-facing slopes, so I'm running into some deeper snow. Luckily, I brought these gaiters. If you ever want to get into some winter camping, I'd highly recommend getting some gaiters. Winter camping, or even if you're doing a lot of bushwhacking, just keeps rocks and debris from really tearing up your pants, and also stuff from getting in your boots. Oh wow, I didn't even take a second to look at that sunset. This whole hike, it's just been dead silent. There's no noise except for the occasional bird chirping, and then of course a plane flying over every now and then. It's like deafening. Well, I'm sad to say I did not end up making it to Ridge Cabin. I got pretty close. I'm about 1.5 miles away from it right now, but it's pitch dark. There is a full moon, but I think I'm just a little too late in the season. I'm kind of cliffed out, and when I dip down onto the slope, it's insanely steep, and there's just too much snow accumulation. So, you know, I like to push my limits a little bit when I'm outdoors, you know, in the cold, strenuous hikes and whatnot. But when it starts to get dangerous to a point where you could really injure yourself, especially way up here, it's not worth it. Chicken coconut curry. 1 1/3 cup of boiling water. Question for you. Once water starts boiling, and if you continue to boil it, does the water get hotter or does it just evaporate? Give you a couple seconds. So the thing is, once water reaches its boiling point, it doesn't get any hotter than that. We're having a Peak Design meal. These are my favorite backcountry meals. Most of the other ones mess up my stomach pretty bad. This mountain range is just beautiful. Well, I'm gonna slip into bed, drink my tea, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Night. Good morning from the top of the Inyo Mountains. Yeah. So down in the valley here would be considered Beveridge, the town of Beveridge. You have a bunch of different mill sites in here and then cabins. You have Frenchie's cabin down there. As you go down, you would continue running into some mill sites and some different cabins and stores and whatnot. And from where I'm at, I believe Ridge Cabin is right here somewhere, but I'm not too sure. And you can see, just trying to navigate this in the dark, like that's level right there. And so walking around these cliff faces, I ended up last night walking around this, and once I got on the backside of this mountain, the snow was just too deep. It looked a lot like this. And to be completely honest, I could probably make it to where I was trying to go from this route. Not this time of year, but I don't think it's the optimal route. I think the best route would be drop down in to Frenchie's Cabin area, Beveridge, the town of Beveridge, and then hike up. Looks like a little bit less steep terrain. Just the fact that, you know, miners were out here, living up here, bringing enough supplies to stay up here for a long period of time. It's absolutely insane. This is some extremely rough country. Those were some hardy men for sure. I tell you what, going down this is a lot easier than going up. This one hill alone probably took me an hour last night. I mean, straight up. This is an old bristlecone pine, and these get thousands of years old. They typically grow in the White Mountains, but they're also at some of the higher elevations here in the Inyo Mountains. These things are just gnarly. This one looks pretty dead, but just look at the way that they grow is pretty insane. This is all the same tree, just branches out. They're gnarly things. Tell how dense that is. There's quite a few of them on this hillside. Most of them look pretty dead though. I was seeing some up on the other side of the mountain over here that look like they're doing all right. Just look at these roots though. Really cool. Another can. These things are scattered all over this mountain. And you can tell these are old because unlike cans that they make today for beans or corn or whatever, these things are thick. And these have been rusting for 100 years, 200 years. Just goes to show how we used to make things so well. Now everything's cheap. I like to imagine he was just sitting here staring at the view, eating a can of beans with a bunch of gold strapped to his mules, going to cash out. Oh, this one's unopened. Oh, I wonder what's in there. Beans. Let's go explore. Ooh, that's steep. Small bit of water seeping out from the mountain. I guess in a pinch I could always drink that. Bunch of mouse droppings in here. There's even a little bone. Wouldn't be a bad place to make an emergency shelter if you had to. This looks a lot like maybe an owl or a bird. You see all the white stuff, that's poop that's come draining out of that hole. Whatever lives in there probably has something to do with the bones on the ground. This is pretty interesting. I didn't catch this on the way in, but there's a visitor sign in. There's a log, French Springs Trail. Last person out here was September. Wow, looking around for Inyo salamanders. Okay. Nobody's been out here, or at least written this book, for 3 months. Oh wow, that water's cold. Brutal. Well, I didn't make it to my planned destination, but I had a lot of fun along the way. Found some cool mining relics and got to explore their country. Those guys were absolutely nuts. If you guys enjoyed this one, please go like, subscribe, help me out a ton, and stay tuned for the next video. Peace.